Day, just 3 months away, and new polling data suggesting that Pennsylvania Democratic candidates hold leads over the Republican competitors.
Tonight, our Ethan Kibbe is joining us with his weekly election update. It is our series called Where Do They Stand? So Ethan is here in studio with some major candidates and how they stand in the polls tonight.
Mike and Eva, there's still a lot of time before Election Day, and polling data is nowhere close to the same thing as election results. But a recent Fox News poll suggests Democrats are doing well and Republicans certainly have some work to do. Let's start with the Senate race to replace retiring Republican Pat Toomey. In this race, Democrat John Fetterman, or rather here we are, sorry about that, Democrat John Fetterman holds a big lead, 11 points over Republican Mehmet Oz. You can see 47 to 36. Further questions in this poll show Oz struggling to energize the Republican base. 68% of Fetterman voters say they strongly support Fetterman. Only 35% of probable Oz voters say they're enthusiastic about the doctor-turned-celebrity. But, and this is a big number to keep an eye on, almost 15% of voters say they're still undecided about that race. And that means this race is likely to get much, much closer before votes are cast in November. Now, that same Fox News poll also looked at the gubernatorial race between Democrat Josh Shapiro and Republican Doug Mastriano. And here's what we see right now. Earlier polls had this race pretty close, 3 or 4 percentage points, but this data from the very last week of July has a 10-point gap, 40 to 50, Shapiro over Mastriano. This lead widening. Like Oz, Mastriano seems to have a likability problem. Only about 50% of likely voters say they have a favorable percent of opinion. That number dips to 38% for Mastriano. Half of voters say they have a favorable opinion of Shapiro. About a third say they're favorable on Mastriano. So we'd seen these polling numbers. Candidates were in town yesterday. We asked Oz about his polling struggles, and he says he's confident his policies will eventually win with voters. And that's why he's out trying to connect with voters, especially those who are still undecided.
As a doctor, the most important thing I do is listen to my patient. You can't fix a feeling, an emotion, until you hear it. And that's an obligation that I have as a U.S. Senator that I take seriously. And that's why I think I'd serve this nation well.
Now, pollsters say the economy is still going to be the single biggest issue for voters this fall. So, yes, things look very, very good for Democratic candidates right now, but this would be like trying to predict a Super Bowl winner at week 5. We've still got 96 days until Election Day. The economy is going to loom large. Time will tell. These leads could continue to grow, or these races, most pollsters believe, are going to get much, much tighter before Election Day. Ethan Kibbe, Erie News Now.